In this section, you define resources involved in delivering services in this area. Keep in mind that resources involved can report directly to a department or can have a limited responsibility in this area but report to a different department. As you complete this section, you should also consider resources in branch or satellite locations that perform core processing activities in this area. To complete this section, click the Add New Resource button. This will activate a row into which you can enter data. We recommend that you try to use job descriptions that are meaningful rather than using names of individuals. For example, under the employee field, you may enter payroll manager. The position could be the exact same, payroll manager. Then enter the number of hours this particular resource spends per year in this HCM area. Then enter their salary or annual pay. Remember that for this study, we consider an employee who is full-time to work 2,000 hours. Notice if you enter 2,000 hours, the system calculates the FTE allocation to be 1 and calculates their cost based on hours worked and their annual rate of pay. If several resources do similar activities, you can group those resources on one line to make it easy. For example, let's assume you have 10 office managers at different satellite locations that do miscellaneous time card administration. Each of them spends about 30 hours per month doing that activity. I would click the Add New Resource button. Under Employee, I would type 10 office managers. I would probably call them the same under Position, 10 office managers. I would multiply 30 hours by 10 resources and put a total of 300 hours. Then I would add an average salary for those 10 individuals. Let's assume 32,000. Notice that the FTE total for those 10 individuals is 0.15, and the cost is adjusted to 4,800. It does seem redundant to have an employee field and a position field, but there are certain cases where both can be used very effectively. For example, maybe I have 4 payroll specialists. I could add a row for each specialist, then use the position field to specify specialist 1, specialist 2, and specialist 3, and so on and so forth, so that I know who they are. It is very common, especially within smaller organizations, to have the same resource listed in multiple areas. A senior HR person may spend 50% of their time doing HR administration, but they may also have 30% of their time in benefits administration, 10% supporting payroll, and the remaining 10% in performance management. You would simply take the percentage of the individual's 2,000 hours and add a row for the person in each survey section. Here's how that might happen. In the payroll survey, I would have a row for senior HR analyst and 200 hours representing 10% of his or her time. In HR administration, I would have the senior HR analyst with 1,000 hours, 50% of her time in HR administration. I would simply do a task list in each area so that I have a full understanding of effort and work being performed in each area. To do a task list, you simply click the Tasks button. A list of common tasks in each area will expand, which allows you to identify the percentage of time based on their allocation to the area. This takes time but is extremely helpful when evaluating ROI components and how services and systems directly affect resources.